Okay, ladies and gentlemen, a warm welcome to the post-race press conference here at the Balaton Park circuit, the Michelin Grand Prix of Hungary. We have our top three riders here joining us for the press conference, led by Ducati Lenovo team rider Marc Márquez, who continues this incredible winning record. That is now 7 successive double victories for Marc. Today, the 22nd different track he's won at in MotoGP, and he's now won 23 races so far in 2025. Congratulations, Marc, once again. A brilliant second place from the third row of the grid for replicating factory racing rider Pedro Acosta, and completing today's podium at the end of that 26-lap race is Aprilia Racing's Marco Bezzecchi. Marco on the podium for the first time in 3 successive MotoGP races, continuing his brilliant recent record. Gentlemen, congratulations once again to all three of you. Marc, unstoppable right now, your 7th successive double win. Pole position yesterday, the sprint win yesterday. It looked relatively comfortable out there for you today. I mean, was that, you feel, one of the most comfortable wins you've had so far this season?
Yes. I mean, as I say, yesterday was a comfortable sprint race, and today was a part of that first 2 corners. Then as soon as I lead the race, the rhythm, I was flowing on the racetrack, and helps me a lot the way to keep the concentration. And yeah, today everything was working in the best way possible. My riding style switched well to this racetrack, and yeah, from Saturday morning we did a step, and just I was riding better and better every session.
You've just mentioned that contact with Marco Bezzecchi going into turn 2. We're just watching it on screens right now. Just talk us through this from your point of view, Marc.
Yeah, that first corner, I know that Marco was inside, because I see a bit. I had that vision that was in parallel on the break point, and then just I go in, but I didn't know if he had the situation under control, and just I decide to release brakes. Even I know that I will lose the position, but just to turn far. And then in turn 2, I did the mistake, because always the rider behind need to control what's going on in front. And I expect that he will have more corner speed. And in fact, when I opened the gas, I saw that he was even closing more the line. I tried to roll, but I couldn't avoid the contact, and it was quite dangerous. But yeah, from that point, just I rebuilt my race, and I tried to find, first of all, the tire temperature, the correct tire temperature on the rear, because I was with the medium, and then just find a good pace.
And that first World Championship since 2019, Marc, is getting ever closer, day by day, race by race. I mean, we've worked out the maths. I think if things go your way, you could actually have your first match point to win this year's World Championship in Misano. Is that something you're starting to think about, or is it something that you're going to try and block out of your mind and just focus on keeping this winning record going?
Of course, my main target is try to keep focus, and to keep the focus, the concentration is keep the same level, because when I'm pushing is when I feel comfortable. It's true that we'll arrive circuits that can be next next race in Catalonia, that I will be not the fastest out there, and but it's there where I need to accept. But we will see. Honestly speaking, yesterday we were with the Spanish journalists. They say to me a bit the numbers. And I hope and I wish to have the first match ball in Japan or Indonesia, because if I have in Misano, means that my brother had a disaster weekend in Catalonia, and I wish the best for him.
Marc, another amazing weekend. Your 13th sprint win yesterday, your 10th Grand Prix win today. Many congratulations. Well, come on then to second place. A fantastic second place from that third row of the grid for replicating factory racing rider Pedro Acosta. Pedro, we felt like you've had the potential all weekend to produce the race that you did today. So after what was a pretty complicated Saturday for both you and the team, you must be really, really happy to have got the job done today.
Yeah, I mean, everything was feeling quite easy on Friday, and then Saturday was completely a disaster, you know, for this. Sometimes I need to cool down a bit and try to save normal result, you know, because I think in this track, quality that far from the first line was more a handicap than other thing for this. I mean, we have to be happy because after that the mechanics have to bring 2 new bikes from these 2 crashes that I was having on Friday and Saturday. I also was struggling in the spring with these passes with Martin for this make. Good passes with Franco and also to Marco was quite okay. It's true that I think we managed in a good way the race. Was missing a bit of experience, like I say, on this Saturday to don't make the mess that I create. But anyway, I think we have to be happy around our weekend and how KTM is improving every race.
Improving every race, as you say, Pedro. I mean, since the summer break, you've been fast and competitive in Brno, in Austria, and now here this weekend in Hungary. Do you feel like there has been a clear step made and you're getting close to maybe going to fighting for the win soon with Marc?
I mean, we cross the fingers, but at the end, Marc is super strong at the moment. We have to don't have any expectation because at the moment this pairing is working quite okay, but we didn't see this dark side of the pairing. You know, for this we need to be calm. Will come better races, can be worse races around, but we need to be quite calm at the moment.
And we just saw there a very cool moment from you after the race, Pedro. There was a really scary incident with the crash at Turn 8 in Q2 yesterday, where you gave one of our camera operators, João, a bit of a scare. You met him last night, you invited him to the box, gave him a signed knee slide, and you were looking out for him on the cool-down lap today.
Yeah, I mean, it was not nice to see how your bike was hitting a camera guy that are quite high. But anyway, I think before riders, we are persons for this. Was super nice to meet him yesterday and also to stop to say hi to him.
A great race day here today for you, Pedro, and for the factory KTM team. Well done. We come on then to a pretty racing's Marco Bezzecchi. Marco, once again, it feels like a bit like the Austrian Grand Prix last weekend, a difficult Friday. Q1 through it, front row, and then a podium, battling in the early part of the race with Marc. So not a bad weekend when you think about it, after what's been quite a tough couple of days.
Yeah, it was at the end of the weekend, everything was okay, but Friday we started with many troubles, and was nice to again make a good Saturday with the Q1 that was really nice, and also the first row that was, I think, the key for this track to be able to try to fight at least for the podium, because my pace was not that good compared to Austria. I was, I think, quite a bit slower. So to make this performance, to be honest, I'm very happy, and yeah, I did my best, so can't complain.
A great start from that front row. There was the contact, of course, with Marc in that second corner. Just talk us through that from your side.
Yeah, well, to be honest, I tried the move into the first corner with Marc, and then I saw that he saw me and he released a bit the brake. But that corner is so tight, so I tried just to focus on the exit, and when I found myself in front, I just tried to close a bit the line, but to be honest, I was just a bit slower into corner 2. I was making the corner, approaching the corner in a different way compared to Marc, and I saw very well when he passed me. I was trying to force more the entry, stopping more in the middle and then forcing on the exit, but he was more fast and fluid in the mid corner, so that's it. I just felt a small touch, but at the end for me it was not an issue, and fortunately everything went well.
You were super strong in those first 8 laps. There was a battle then with Marc for the lead, but once he did make the move through, he was able to make a break very, very quickly. He said he was just in that flow today. He felt so comfortable. Where was the difference? I mean, did you think yourself when he passed you that he's making it look quite easy, or he looks very, very comfortable?
Allora, I don't know how he felt at the moment. I know now that he said this, but at the end for me was a problem since a couple of laps before, because I realized that on the left side my rear tire was already done. The problem is that I needed the soft to stop better the bike, so when I saw on the pit board that Marc overtook Frankie, I had 0.8 and I knew he could catch me quite easily, so in a couple of laps he was behind me, and I just tried to fight at the end as much as I could, but I knew that he was stronger. to be honest, I didn't expect to lose the position also to Pedro, but when he passed me, he was also really, really strong. So, yeah, at the end, I just tried to take this podium, and that's it.
Marc, Pedro, Marco, congratulations once again to all three of you. We'll take questions, please, now from the media. Thank you very much.
Two questions. First one from Marc. You're making MotoGP look easy. Does it feel easy, maybe for the first time since 2019?
No, I mean, never easy, and I know, and I'm always trying to think that I'm in a dream. I'm dreaming. So because it's not normal to win 14 starts in a row, means sprint and main race. But it's true that this weekend I felt super comfortable. But for example, in Austria, Bezzecchi was pushing super hard in the first laps, then arrived Fermin, so we'll arrive next weekend in Catalonia. But it's true that for me, the most important is be competitive in every condition, in every racetrack, in different layouts, and always be there on the top three. The moment we'll arrive, some Saturday or some Sunday, somebody will be faster than me. Then I need to accept and finish the race.
And then secondly, another question to you and also Pedro. It was supposed to be very difficult, almost impossible to overtake at this track. You both made moves to get your positions. Does MotoGP belong in Ballantyne Park? Is it a good track for racing?
For me, it's safe enough, and it's a good track for race. It's a different track, of course. It's a tight track, but in the end, as we see today, if you want, you can overtake. It's true that you need to have like 3-4 tenths more than the front rider if you want to overtake in a clean way. But yeah, it's, as I say, in 22 races, you need to have a different kind of layout.
Well, you have to have different layouts, like Marc said. It's true that the only negative that I say that when Bastianini crashed today, in 10, 12, 13, he crossed the track quite easy. For this is the only negative that I have to say. But yeah, I mean, not in every track, like in Sachsenring, is easy to overtake for this. It's not the first one that is that hard for this. You need to be slightly faster than the guy that is in front, but possible is to overtake.
Hello, gentlemen. I have a question to all three of you. After yesterday's start, did you talk about the start, things that maybe you could do differently? Because obviously nobody wanted to have a chaos like yesterday. To all three of you, please.
No, we don't talk about it. I mean, we are in MotoGP and everybody know what's happened in that first corner. But as we see in the past, in Catalonia, for example, that will be in the first corner, how many times we had an issue or an incident. When you arrive always and you have a hard break point, especially when you are in a new circuit, then is when start the problems. Or with less experience, are easier to create an incident like yesterday, Quartararo. But can happen in racing. And today, as we see, today everybody was more careful. And Moto3, Moto2 had an incident, but not a big one, so was safe enough.
I think today everyone was more calm than yesterday. You know, at the end, when you have a hard breaking point like this, you always try to overtake, because if you are able to take a rider quite wide, it's more easy to gain position, you know. But I think today everyone was more calm and we was taking space.
Nothing more to add.
Okay, then I have another question for you, Marco.
For me?
Yes. It was like Matt said, more or less the same as in Austria last week. You had a very, very good start and leading the race for quite a lot of laps. But you, in the final stages, you were a little bit too slow. Can you tell us maybe what you're still looking for in those final stages?
Well, to be honest, here compared Austria was, yes, it's true that from outside the race was really similar, but at the end the problem was that in Austria I was, I think, managing well and a bit more in control and a bit feeling a bit better with my bike compared here. But in Austria I had some issues in the end, and here unfortunately just I didn't have the pace the whole weekend, so already to find myself leading the race for I don't know how many laps, but 6, 7, I don't know. Anyway, was already something that I completely didn't expect. So I tried just to don't force too much when I was in front, but I knew that they were coming, especially Marc, obviously. But yeah, still we have to find the way to, let's say, make a perfect weekend or a decent weekend every day. Because then when you have to recover from Friday to Saturday, you have to concentrate also on the qualifying, so you don't work too much on the race pace. And Marc is making the difference because he's always in the perfect place, in the perfect point, always ready for the time attack, but also always ready to work on the pace. And Pedro also this Friday was very good on the pace. So apart from the qualifying, he knew he could be fast. So this is what we are missing at the moment. But to end a weekend that started bad like this is always good.
Hi, Mela Chércoles, Diario AS and Cadena SER. A question for all of you. Could you say something about Jorge Martinator? Today, fourth, a few weeks ago, a few months ago, very close to die. What can you say? Thank you.
I mean, not a lot to say because he's wearing the number 1 means that he's a world champion in MotoGP, and so a lot of talent. As I say, when he come back already in Brno, he was fast from the beginning, and he need time, but he will arrive. As we see, Aprilia is doing an incredible job with Marco, so means the bike is working in a good way, and Jorge have the talent. So sooner or later will arrive. I think sooner than later.
I think he was the one that was working the most to come back as soon as possible, you know, for this. Aprilia, I think, is also the brand that made the biggest jump between last year and this year. For this, it's a matter of time that he started to be in the podiums.
Very, very happy for Jorge Martinator. We all knew that he could be fast at the end. I stay with him a lot of time, and he's unbelievable how much he works for everything. So very, very happy for him.
Niki Kovacs from MotoGP Hungary. Question to you, Marc. First of all, your thoughts on the trophy, and also I saw that before the celebration with the Prosecco, you put it in a safe place. Was it a memory of Lando Norris, maybe?
Yes, yeah. I saw normally I was always jumping with the trophy, but I saw that it was slippery and quite, you know, I say, okay, I prefer to have safe, because I heard in a Spanish TV in the zone that it was a handmade trophy, so I want to keep safe with me, but super nice. I mean, be a kind of trophy from Hungary that is, they say to me that this white one is typical, no?
BT with Sport Bikes Inc. Question is for Marco and Pedro. You know, especially you, Marco. You know, since Silverstone, you've been one of the hottest racers around. It seemed like you've developed the bike. Unfortunately, your teammate was hurt at the beginning of the season, so it's just been you. And do you feel like you're getting enough credit as for developing the bike? And what do you think you have to do? Is it mentally or the bike to get your first victory?
I understand the first part, but you speak such difficult English. Can you repeat it slowly, please?
Sure.
Sorry, yeah?
What do you think you have to do to get your first victory? Mentally, or is it with the bike?
Well, mentally, for sure, just try to continue in this way. At the end, don't give up and continue to put the same effort in everything, in the details, in every aspect is always important. In terms of bike, at the end, let's say that the bike is already in a good point. Of course, the Ducatis, but also the KTMs made something incredible. So there are tracks where maybe we are a bit closer and tracks where maybe we are a bit more far. But overall, the things that we miss are always the same. So let's try to continue in this way with the whole factory, with the engineers, to mind this gap that we miss, especially in the last part of the race.
And the same question goes for you, Pedro. It's like you wrapped your head around the team. Now you're more focused. Where do you think maybe you'll get your first victory, and what do you think it would take for you?
Well, now we are missing a bit too much a full weekend, you know. At the end, on Friday here, we were super fast, but then I make a mess on Saturday qualifying. And I think this kind of things is the one that I have to improve to be really constant, let's say, because now we are finding the way to be always in top 5. But if you are all the weekend in the top 5 and then in the qualifying you make that big mistake, is becoming every time more difficult to make a comeback, because in the last couple of GPs since Breno, I'm making a good comebacks, but you cannot always believe that a comeback will save your weekend, you know, for this. Now we have to see how to manage better the qualifying and how to qualify more in the front, because Marco, I think is what he's gaining a lot on Saturdays, that he is always in front row and he make a step on Saturdays.
Cosimo Curatola, Italy, MOV for Marc. So Marc, we saw you're having, I think, the best championship ever, and you're very focused on every race, every aspect of everything. But maybe I think after you will get the championship, will you try maybe a fancy way to race your races, find something different on the bike or something like this, maybe for the next season, or you will keep riding like this with this consistency and this precision always? Thank you.
No, I mean, first of all, I need to close the championship. And yeah, every time looks closer and closer, but I want to close. And then when I will close the 25, we'll start the 26.
Hi, Dimitris Diatsidis from Greek TV. A question for Pedro. Pedro, since Brno, you are a lot better than on the start of the season. Do you think in which places KTM is closer to Ducati now, or it was just you that you adapt yourself better to the bike that you have?
I mean, the team is working super hard. It's true that I will not say Breno, but I will say after Austria, the aero update that the KTM bring to us help a lot. Now the bike is more calm, it's slightly easier to ride, and for sure we have more space to make mistakes. You know, the problem before that, the slightly mistake you make, you already was in the floor. You know, for this now we are getting better. We have more room to play, and our setup was becoming better in the last couple of weekends. It's true that it's still missing, like I say, from my part to be slightly calm and also try to match the qualifyings. But we are becoming better, not as good as them, but we are becoming, better.
Hi, my name is Balint, and I have a question to Marc. How do you like the track in overall? Because from the first moment, you looked so confident on it.
Yeah, the track, the fact that right on the left side already was a good sign for me. Of course, the most important is that it's a safe track for the worlds. As Pedro said, the crash of Bastianini, but we see many times also in Le Mans, in Austin, even me, this year I crashed on that turn 4 and I crossed the... When you have always change direction can happen, but yeah, the walls are safe enough. Looks like the crown also was good, so was full of fans. And it's important to open MotoGP in new countries.
Michel Turcot, Motor Review. Question for you, Marc. You said that as soon as you will close the championship, you will think about 26. What about 27? And another one for you, Marco. Why did you keep your bottle closed?
I mean, Michel, one by one. I mean, first of all, we need to close the 25, then we'll start the 26, and I don't want to keep this moment. I don't want to lose this momentum. The way that I have the mentality now. It's true that I'm fast, but in the past I was fast but doing more mistakes. Now looks like I have all the situations more under control. Always you're on the limit. Always you can do mistake, but for that reason I want to keep all the races on the same way, because will be the best way to start 26, but still lot of races to go, and 27 is far away. After 7 victories in a row, no. At the moment, no plan.
Sorry, I don't remember that. No, I open. This is a new one.
Can I? Okay, sorry. Máté Sebők, Rally Café magazine. Question to Marco. You are getting closer and closer to Pecco in the championship standings. Do you think you can catch him? And if you can, would it be a more valuable third place in the standings than 2 years ago?
Allora, to be honest, I never look too much about the standing. It's obvious that every race weekend, maybe at the end when you go home, you watch how is the situation. But at the moment, it's not my main target. Of course, if I can achieve third place, for sure is better. But what I'm focused is to try to improve the bike and try to build a solid base for next season. And also to continue in this way this season that is going for the moment well. So yeah, these two are my main targets.
Okay, once again, congratulations to Marc, Pedro, Marco. We'll see you in 2 weeks' time.